Never let perfect be the enemy of good enough. I filmed this interview back in Maribor with Greg. I was really nervous. I hadn't set things up. It was all a bit rushed and his mic didn't work. I did have backup audio, but it didn't sound very good. So I didn't release it, but it's a good interview. So I need to forget about it being perfect and I'll just put it out there for you guys. So this is me interviewing Greg at Maribor. Cathro vs Syndicate. Going to be trying to do a series of these videos throughout the year. Hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome to my second attempt at trying to interview someone. Before this video properly kicks off, I need to say a massive thanks to Santacruz, who have very kindly helped fund all my World Cup videos this year, and they've covered my expenses for getting to all of them, which is absolutely ideal. And as part of that, I felt like I should try and pay them back. I got a little bit of viewing figures now, so I think I can help out men like this guy right here. So we have Greg Minnaar. I'm going to give him an interview and have a little chat with him. And the way we're going to do this is Cathro versus the Syndicate. I'm going to do various videos throughout the year, and I want to have a little bit of challenge, a little bit of battle with you, Greg. So you're known as the puzzler.
Oh, the puzzler. Do you know where that came from?
No.
So the puzzler is a term used among some of my friends when someone just can't get something right, they puzzle.
Yeah.
And so I started using it, and then I ended up being called the puzzler. I didn't really understand that. So
I think you can blame Jordy. I think he's made you seem like
someone like Jordy is a puzzler.
Yeah.
So
but you know what you want.
He's a prime example of a puzzler.
Okay. Well, not by design, but due to an unfortunate turn of events, you are known as the puzzler. And we have the cheapest puzzle we could find in the local store. Game of Connect 4, so while we're doing the questions, I reckon.
So what's the aim of this game?
Right, never played it?
No.
Oh, we got a fresh Connect 4. Right, what we got to do, let's have a dry run. So you take one token, drop it in.
Drop it in.
Drop anywhere you want, fire in. And then I would take a turn as well. And your goal is, you want to get 4 of them in a line, either going across the way, up the way, or diagonally.
All right.
Fire in again. I'll queue up the questions while we have this dry run.
Tricky.
Yeah. So, I thought we'd start off with a wee bit of word association, just to get warmed up, get the brains thinking. So I'll say a word, and you say the first word that comes to mind. First word is bikes.
Santacruz.
Santacruz, nice.
Be fitting.
Take a move. Second word would be racing.
Maribor.
We are here. First round of the World Cup. Second word would be 29.
I was once 29.
Marshy.
An hilarious human being. Word, but.
And Maribor.
Muddy.
Oh, do you know something? I don't.
Every year I've come here, it's always had summer rain. Well, I guess the first few years was dry, but the rest of it was pretty muddy.
Yeah, a couple of years I did was filthy. Next word would be rain.
Lots of cleaning.
Lots of cleaning for you or cleaning for Kathy?
Bit of both.
Knack-knacks.
Knack-knacks. Something I've done a long time ago.
Yeah, once a trademark move.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were.
Are they going to come back round?
Oof, no.
Is it me to go again?
Yeah.
I'm totally not paying attention.
Good.
So, with quick fire done, I think it's time to get a wee bit more real. I'm really struggling to think and play, so now I've got to get Greg thinking a bit more. So, bike geometry is something that I find really interesting, and I know you do as well. And your bikes have changed massively from when you started racing. How different would you say? The one that sticks in my mind is like the Honda bike. I can picture you riding that, and I remember it being little, quite short.
Yeah, all the bikes are short. Yeah.
How would you say that differs from nowadays?
Well, it differs a lot that the bikes have grown. I mean, to fit a 29-inch wheel into a bike, it's not just a matter of putting bigger wheels on it. You need to space the bike out a bit. And now we space the bikes out, the bikes seem to handle it better. We can corner just as tight. We can carry more speed into sections. So a lot of people on about like these tracks, you know, a lot easier than before. It's just the lines are better. It's not that the track's easier. We're still riding the same sections.
Yeah. Given the track I just walked, it's not easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But the bikes are stable, so you run a different line. You carry more speed into the sections, so you can go faster. And the bikes then have to, suspension's better, so we can handle the rough a lot better and the bigger hits. So, the bike geometries have somewhat changed more, not necessarily bottom bracket heights, or head angle. I think the head angles haven't really differed too much in the later years. I know in Honda we used to run a steep head angle than normal. But the length of the bike, the wheelbase, I think is more important now than the geometry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I remember, it's all rumours that you get from third-hand information, but I think when you tested the Honda, was it not really different to the one that you actually ended up riding? Yeah. What were the differences?
So they had the fork crowns were just really flexible. So it was just all over
those
the place.
The Showa fork crowns?
No, Honda made the fork crowns.
Okay, right.
Showa just made the suspension. And the bottom bracket was just super high. So
that is what I'd heard, that it was just like too high and you're like slam it down.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think the bottom bracket height has changed too much in the last 15 years. I think the head angles, people have played around a little bit, but I think it's more about the wheelbase than anything else.
He's thinking about it, he's not just going for it. So each year bikes have been getting longer, like you were saying, wheelbases have changed massively. Do you feel we've hit a plateau, or do you think there's a ways to go yet?
Well, I think they thought they had a plateau back in the 90s. Yeah. I think, in the early 2000s we hit another plateau. I think we'll keep progressing. We've changed from aluminium to carbon, although aluminium came back a bit last year. But, we're pushing the boundaries and the limits all the time. So as the bikes progress, suspension progresses, the bikes can build up again. It's, you need those little moves forward, just like a 29-inch wheel. There's no point making a 29-inch frame when there's no fork, or there's no rim, or there's no tire. So you need something to happen. So if it wasn't for Maxxis to make a tire, we could never make a 29-inch bike, because there's no way to push Fox if you were going to still run a cross-country tire.
Someone needs to dive in and make the first.
So it takes a bit of a process, and as that chips away, I'm sure we'll go into other avenues along the way.
So I guess the thing that I'm definitely intrigued in is, I think I'm about 3 inches taller. I think I'm 6'7".
6'3".
So I'm intrigued on whether Greg is going to go, actually I think I could do with a bigger bike, and an XXL is going to come along.
There's no XXL. But it's, we build this bike and we're like, okay, this is 20 mils longer than anything we've ever made. And we, build this bike, and then straight away it kind of feels comfortable now. At first you think, wow, it's big, and then, 2 weeks later you're quite into the bike. So we definitely think there's space to grow. I don't think we've reached the limit on length of bike just yet.
No. I wonder if we're gonna hit an accidental stalemate here. That'd be good. I'd be stoked with a draw, to be honest.
It's not a bad game.
No.
Not a bad game.
It's not quite chess, but
no.
There's a bit of thought process. So you were saying earlier at the start that you've never really felt like the long bikes have ever become cumbersome, and I've felt the same. And I don't personally feel like we've hit the limits yet, but I know in the past when I went to a much bigger bike, I remember a French team, Q Bikes, asked me to what numbers do I want, and I was like, I have no idea, make it this much longer than Pascal's. And it's shorter than the bike I'm on today, but when I had it, I couldn't ride it because I didn't believe in it, because I was like, this is too long, I can't ride this. But actually it was probably about right. So it's interesting that it does have to almost go smoothly, or with whatever you're thinking in your head.
Yeah, I think when you said it almost has to go smoothly, I think you've got to progress to it. You can't just jump straight in. And, I mean, it might feel too foreign and you'll never get comfortable. And, that's probably, it happened to me in 2002. We got Orange to make a slightly bigger bike and just couldn't ride it and struggled. So, yeah, just it does need progression.
So you've been on the Syndicate, how long now? It's about 10?
I started in 2008.
11 years?
Yeah.
So I've not done my research, but I feel like you're definitely one of the longest running athletes with a single team. And I was wondering, why no change? Why did you stick with the Syndicate? Why have you not mixed it up?
I just like the dynamics in the team. Rob had set this team up to run a certain way, and Kathy kind of followed that way of running a team. There was never much pressure from Rob to perform. It was really relaxed. He understood that injury happens, that you know, and that's quite a relief when you're training and racing all this time, and you're gonna have injury. You know, it's gonna happen, but it wasn't such a big deal. You know, we'd work around it, and I thought that was kind of impressive, you know, for a team owner to be that way. And yeah, it's just worked. It's just gelled well. I've had a good time. I've enjoyed the travel. You know, we travel a lot, and if you've got a good crew of people and having a good time, it makes it a lot easier. So then you go to race on the weekend, and you're in a better atmosphere and environment to race.
We are running out of options, eh?
Yeah.
So we've got some viewer questions actually. I pitched it to the internet, and they returned in massive amounts, to a lot of them asking the same questions. Because I think I posted a picture of you riding a bike in a suit.
Yeah, right.
And they were all asking about your hair, and then some saying, why aren't you wearing a helmet? And I was like, that's a photo shoot. The ones that weren't all asking the same question, we got one from Derek, and he was wondering, what is your favourite class of mountain bike when you're just riding for fun? So like, is it downhill? Would it be trail riding, cross country? Like, what would you do?
I just go trail riding when I'm home. You know, I'd love to be blasting runs all day. That would be the ultimate. You know, that's why I love going to like Velnor or somewhere where there's just loads of trails and great lifts that you can just blast all over the place. That's great, but my general riding is just trail riding.
Yeah. We're filling that up now. A follow-up question for that previous one is, what would be the main thing you would do for fun? Like, so you say trail riding is like your main thing you would do, but
on the bike.
Yeah, on the bike. What was your?
It's, you know, people don't understand being a professional athlete and being pro for so long. It's not always fun to ride a bike. I mean, whenever I get on a bike, it's always to train. So you never actually go and enjoy a ride. It's not like I go and ride an amazing trail, you know, once a week. It's like I just ride the same loop, doing the same training, whatever I need to do.
It's a job.
It's shit. You know, everyone else goes and rides these good trails and has a good time. It's like, well, I didn't really, you know, I'm just riding the same trail. So for me to have a little bit of fun in the off season, I surf, play golf. I'm pretty social. I hang around. I've got a good bunch of mates that we hang out a lot. And then you know, a few of my friends have got into mountain biking. They trail ride a bit, so it's good to like take a day off and just go cruise with them. And then I'll drive out to trail, because if I'm training, I normally ride from home. I hate wasting time driving out to trail.
So you say just getting out, riding your bike for fun is something that's rare?
It is rare, yeah. Very rare, yeah.
Oh man, it's getting hard. There's very few moves left that aren't going to give the win to the other person. So Rob G's wondering, what riders... Oh no, you've won. Ah!
What did I win? Oh yeah.
You've laid either an expert trap or a total accident.
I actually didn't even notice.
Ah, yeah.
I have.
I'm in. I gotta block it, and he's claiming it. Or you could. No, you can't. Yes. Okay, couple more questions to finish up then. And good game as well. Actually, well done.
Yeah.
Not bad. We'll say it's beginner's luck.
It really was. You know.
So yeah, a couple more questions. Rob G is asking, what other riders, past, present, and upcoming, do you admire?
Past riders, definitely Nicholas Villiers. PD was great and still is great. You know, he's just a rider that can ride really fast no matter what bike he's on. So definitely those two are definitely people from the past. present, I mean, you've got the French trio, Loris, Luick and Amory. You got Gwyn, Troy, Danny Hart. There's so many good riders now.
It's insane at the moment, yeah.
Future riders, I mean, I think the future's here, kind of. I mean, if you look at the age of Loris and Luke, I mean, they're early 20s. Matt Walker.
Yeah, that's
riding really well. I mean, these guys are good. They're young, they're fast, and
it's interesting you say that about young riders in the young 20s. I was doing the old Wikipedia research last night. You were 19 when you won your first World Cup season.
Yeah.
Is that the youngest, or did Williams match that?
I don't know if it was the youngest. I'm not sure.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Something else.
That was a bit unexpected. That season.
Was it second World Cup season? Was it?
Second World Cup season, yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool one to have. So Adam Heindel is wondering, how close are we to a situation where a rider could win because of a technical superiority, like a better bike, like you would get in F1? Or is that here, or are we close? Would it be a bad thing, or will downhill always be about the rider?
I think a downhill race is a combination. It's equipment's definitely a part of it. Rider's definitely a part of it. Lady Luck's a bit a part of it too. You know, to win a downhill race now, there's so many things have to fall in place for you to win. That's hard. That's tough. You know, tough as it is. So it would be hard to say that the equipment's going to be leading that way. You know, maybe a rider's setup and maybe the way he's setting the bike up or managing the build of the bike or the suspension or something might be quite key. But I don't think we're at a point where equipment's going to enable a rider to just win or do really well. I mean, I think a privateer's got just as good a chance as any right now. You know, you can buy a Santacruz V10 off the shelf, same bike we ride. You know, obviously we have a bit of support that makes it easier weekend after weekend, but once off race or coming into trial, I think a privateer's got a great shot.
Cool. Yeah, it's quite a unique sport in that aspect, I find.
I mean, when I started racing, we couldn't get tyres that the pros used, we couldn't get suspension that the pros had, nor could we get the bikes. So there was a bit of an advantage being a pro. Nowadays, you know, I think most guys are on production bikes.
Yeah, it's wild. Like people are like, why does your bike cost so much when you can buy a motorbike for $4,000? It's like, well, if you bought the same bike you're racing on, it's not going to cost you that much.
True.
So yeah, it's a really good one. Liam Avery is wondering, do you have any superstitions that around racing, like little kind of habits that you have to do?
I don't really have like a particular superstition, but I try and use like new gloves or like I'll identify a pair of socks that I've got or something, and that'll be like my race socks or my race gloves or race goggles. Those are the three things that kind of make it a
trifecta.
Yeah, one of the three. You don't need all three, but just one. Normally it's goggles or gloves.
Ben Velicott is wondering, when do you plan on retiring? That was a common question. It's an interesting one, and I was adding a little thing onto that. Will you stick it out like Steve Pete to the age of 43, I think he was?
I don't know if I will stick it out for that long. I will race, and I love racing, and I love racing competitively. I don't think I can race if I'm not competitive. So as soon as I don't have the urge to train hard and race hard, I think it's time to call it. I don't think I want to be in a position where I'm on a team because of a name. I think I need to earn my way into a team and to be able to race. I'm sure there's injury and bad luck and everything else, like last season, but I'm hoping this season we can be back firing again and hopefully competing with the guys you used to compete with. Cool.
Is that how you're feeling coming into round one Maribor?
Yeah, I think, you know, once I got injured in Fort William last year, I was like, a few days later I was rehabbing straight away to come back. And to have that fire, you know, after an injury, right in the beginning of the season's kind of tough, you know, and if I didn't have that fire to try and get back, I would have maybe rethought if I'm going to race this season or not. But I felt like I had this fire to come back and compete, and I had a pretty good ride at Worlds, and it wasn't too bad. So the speed was there at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'd recovered right, and I was like fired up to train and prepare for this season. So I think when you lose that, then it's also time to call it.
Cool. Question from Ice Creamer. What would you be doing if you weren't downhill racing?
Well, what pulled me away from motocross was the bicycle. So I don't think I would have been able to go as far as I did in mountain bike as I did in motocross. It definitely was something I dreamed of as a kid.
Yeah.
But that dream just somehow made its way into a bicycle, and I lived that dream out on a bicycle. I would probably be at a bike shop in South Africa, I would imagine. I really don't know. I can't imagine not doing what I've done, or traveling or anything else. So I really don't know what I would have done. My life's has taken different channels and ways along the way, and so it would have been hard to say, I would have exceeded and gone become an architect or not, or something. I
You know, like solid plans.
I was just racing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, it seems like it was a good choice anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, Greg. So
Thanks, Cathro.
Thank you very much
No problem.
for joining me in the
Thank you.
Cool. So Greg is racing this weekend at the World Cup. Tune in this weekend, see how he does. And Greg, if you have anything to say, you can.
I think we said it all.
Said it all.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Cool. Catch you there, Greg.
Thanks, guys.
Hope you enjoyed that video. I'll be doing more Cathro vs Syndicate throughout the year, so stay tuned for them. As was a Santacruz sponsored video, I thought it'd be a good chance to announce the winner of the Santacruz hoodie from the 27.5 vs 29-inch video. If you've not seen that, that's up there. Winner was the best joke, which was Sean Walsh with the slightly controversial "Why was the anti-vaxxer's 5-year-old crying?" Because it was having a midlife crisis. Slightly controversial, but I am not anti-vax. Pretty much don't listen to random idiots on the internet, listen to the experts. Vaccination is super important. Make sure you get your kids vaccinated. So nice one, Sean. Hoodie is coming to you. Best way to get in touch, follow me on Instagram, send me a message on Instagram. I'll get back to you, we'll sort it out, we'll get this out to you. Right, cheers for being patient. Cool, hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.